Good afternoon, everybody. We've got a nice fall morning here. Figured I'd come take a look at the fig orchard. Figs are still ripening, but definitely not as sweet as they once were. You can see this Bordeaux Negra Ramada here. This time of the year when you pick these figs, see if I can get this to focus, they tend to have this sap that comes out, and that sap will definitely irritate you, that fig sap. So be very careful of that, especially if you get it on your sun or get it on your skin and then go out in the sun hits it, it will blister. So be very careful. So the figs are still ripening, and you can see the nice honey on the end of the eye here. The problem is they are not as sweet as they normally would be. Let me go ahead and crack this guy open. Still nice inside, but not as dark and jammy as normal. And the sugars just don't develop as well without the heat and the extra sun. But let's try it. It's definitely not as sweet, but I can tell you it's still tasty. You know, they're still worth eating. I don't think many people would turn these down. They may not be, perfection, but they'd still make a very good dessert. The skin gets very tough at this time of year, which I actually kind of like. To me, it's almost like a fruit chew. Yep, nothing wrong with that fig. It's not going to have the same sweetness and jamminess that you would have in the summer there. But you can see Fisher still loves them. Hopefully, sorry for chewing, but hopefully everyone is still getting a few figs. We've had about 32 degrees, woken up to frost in the morning. So not enough to completely stop the trees, but boy, not far from it. A few more degrees and the figs will stop production altogether. And even now, if they weren't close to ripening before, they're not going to suddenly swell and ripen in this cooler air. But we're getting a few to eat to wrap up the season. It won't be long now, maybe another week or two where we get a freeze. About 28 degrees I think is usually where it really shuts things down, and all these leaves will dry up and fall off, and it'll be time for us to pack it up for the season. Some of the trees that we had the water issue with before, some of them are coming back. You can see the I've got figs all over my hands, but you can see the tips here starting to green up a little bit, so that tree will come back. This tree was hurting beforehand, but it did leaf out a few more leaves. So, I think we'll see how they do over the winter. This improved Celeste started to leaf out, but really just didn't have its heart in it. So now I just have to hope that they have enough energy to make it through the winter. And we'll see what happens next year. But hopefully everybody's season's wrapping up nicely and getting the last few warm days in before winter starts to really approach. And then once winter approaches, it's going to be a long few months before we can start looking forward to figs again. All right, take care, everybody. I'm PA Figs.